Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the Season 8 Championship here at Race Spec. We're about to start our qualifying session very shortly here in Mexico City. So, let's get right into it, shall we? Here we are at Mexico City here. It has a very interesting setup with the 3 DRS zones, but only 2 DRS detection zones with a double DRS after the first few corners there, the first chicane, and also the S's in the middle sector will cause a very interesting challenge for the drivers. It could be make or break. There could be several crashes going off right into the walls that are quite close to those S's. With a bit of elevation changes. It is a very technical track, but also you need a very good setup for that long main straight to get that speed and to utilize that double DRS zone. But I believe our drivers are now starting their qualifying lap, so let's get right into it. Ooh. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined today by the lovely Dr. Shiyzu here in qualifying.
Hello guys, and good evening. Good evening to you all watching this amazing Grand Prix where we will have wet qualifying for the first time.
We will have wet qualifying in the not so sunny Mexico City. And that is a first, I believe, for the season, correct?
Yeah, we didn't have any wet qualifying yet, if I recall correctly.
Now let's see who is. We also a first for the season. We have a nearly and that is Pareto already out of the grid. Did he crash coming into the pits? Was it?
Yeah, I think he crashed. He crashed that Peraltada just right in the entry of the pit lane.
Yeah, it's trying to find him. That is a very unfortunate placement. Yeah, that is the quickest line. Its way to the line, I should say, after the last corner, but it's very close to the wall. As I was going to say before, that unfortunate happened. I'm going to be interrupted constantly by people crashing and interrupting me, but we have a whole 19 drivers, a nearly full grid here. After only, I think, about 12 drivers last week out. But it is a very full grid with 2 divisions squashed into 1. Oh, and Vernex in the Haas, sending the fastest time of the grid so far. But it's hard to know who exactly is on which lap, I think. Anto.
We just have a McLaren opening the lap right now.
Yes, we have the delicious hamburger in the papaya color here, and let's see as it comes down towards the first corner. Apologies, I do not know the name, as they are all in Spanish, and I do not wish to harm anyone's ears. But
I can do the translation of the names. I know a little bit of Spanish.
Go for it.
Let me just grab my track map. There we are, going through. Oh shit! Everything just froze for me. This is all just called DS's or Los S's. In Spanish, it's pretty close to English, with a very big swerve from Delicious.
Yeah. Not a lot of grip in those intermediates. I wonder if wets would even be the tire to go for. It seems like a very wet track at the moment.
Yeah, I just think Squids. I just think that they might be using dry weather setups with intermediates for quality, because probably the race might be in dry weather. That's why we can see them sliding so much.
Yep. I did say in the intro that a setup is very important on Mexico, and definitely more so important when you're in the wet. And you need to, you need to balance that. Do I go fast in quali, or am I going to be fast in the race?
Yeah.
Now let's try and see if we can pinpoint anyone on a flying lap.
We might have Tommy and Alexis might be on a flying lap.
Alexis, he is in. Here we are in the Red Bull. No time set for our last 6 runners. Of course, with Ferretto DNFing quite early in the race there, or in the qualifying session there. He's going to be...
Oh,
that's delicious. He was having such trouble with the rear tires slipping all over the place, and it's a very unfortunate place to crash, a very unusual place to crash. As well. There also seems to be a bit of a...
and Vernex just messed up some guys going faster than him.
Well, that is for the stewards making. That's another person in the hole. That's an Alpha Tauri, I believe. I don't think they're out of the session, but they've definitely damaged a lot. A lot of people are struggling with the S's.
Yeah, it makes me wondering if they have a low wing setup in those wet conditions.
Yes.
But it's easy to see a lot of guys just with very loose rear.
Yeah, a lot of people are having a lot of oversteer. Like you say, their rear ends are just going all over the place. And
yeah,
Vizovic actually took P1 there while we were talking. He beats George Cogger by 0.2 of a second. I have a feeling qualifying is going to be a lot closer than it was last week in the wet weather.
Yeah, most certainly we will have we just see a lot of fast drivers joining that were not present in the last race. So we might see some action on the top part of the grid.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of drivers from Tier 1 joining us, and they unfortunately didn't get their race last week, so they're going to be itching for a race right now. Even if it is in the wet, and the best drivers actually, they like the wet. It's a challenge, so let's see how much. Yellow flag going through the S's again. I think that's a Red Bull. The Red Bull of Daniel Kvyat. Going slow. Could not say, but that is a purple sector 2 for Carberg. This is coming now towards the stadium section.
Yeah, and Passion Jack is just going for a fast lap.
We'll jump on board with him once we have Carberg across the line. Bit of a slip through the last corner there, but he just onto the second row there. And Passion Jack in the Mercedes. He nearly lost it, but he's kept it. But that's a lot of momentum now, and he has a Ferrari going fast right behind him. And I think he's blocking the Ferrari unintentionally, maybe, but regardless.
That's certainly going to cost both of them some time.
Yes, especially when Vizovic wants to increase the lead at the front of the pack.
Yeah, and we were talking about the importance of setup in Mexico, and if my data is correct, Mexico City is the highest Grand Prix we have in the calendar. It's 2,200 meters over sea level. Just for comparison, Austria and Brazil both happen at 800 meters.
Okay, that is
so
very high.
Yeah. And the setup is really weird because you can't go, going with too much aero makes, really no sense because there's so little, the air is so thin there that you can go a lot faster with a lot of wing And you know, it makes the qualifying makes the setup setting so difficult because you either have to sacrifice a lot of speed or a lot of turning due to the conditions of the track.
I completely agree with you there. It's not one or the other. There's a very long straight at the beginning of the track, and then there's also the SEC. You need both. You need the speed and you need the downforce.
Yeah, because it's so easy to lose in the S's. If you go really close to the car ahead, you can lose the car very easily. We saw that in the Sunday races, where people were just spinning left and right on the S's when following very close each other. So yeah, you have to make a compromise. You either go fast in the S's, but lose some top speed, or you go fast in the straight and try to hold your own in the S's.
Yeah, I mean, we've even seen that in this session already.
Yes.
Vernex.
Oh, three cars going almost
Into
at the
the
same time in the
S's.
pits.
Go into the pits. Oh, I see them now. I think the Vernex is coming out right ahead of them. Oh, and Vizuka nearly going into the back of an Aston Martin there. And oh, Passion Jack gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with George Cogger. That would put him, I believe, even behind Ferretto. I don't know what the rules are there for DNF cars, but I think that would put him at the back of the grid.
Yeah, most certainly he would. I think he would start in the back.
Oof. I did not get that collision on the stream, but George is currently in the pits. I wonder if they collided coming into the pits.
We should make all the matter more sad.
Yes. But our provisional poster there at the moment, with a very nice helmet cam right there. He's on his outlap. And I believe his fellow driver on the front row, Tarberg, is right behind him on track.
Yeah, the difference just 0.2 between those two guys.
It's a very close, and the difference between Tarberg and George Cogger is even closer. What's that, 6 thousandths of a second?
Yeah, just 6 thousandths.
But let's hop on board with Vizuik. You wanna run us through his map?
Yes, he's just going for the first turn. Those first 3 turns are called the SS de Moisés Solana, which was a Mexican driver in the 60s. Then he will go to the back straight, which is in Spanish is recta trancera. And turns 4 and 5 are the S's del Lago, or the S's of the lake. Turn 6 is called the Horquilla. The next turn he's going to do, the double apex turn.
With a purple sector 1 at that.
And now, there's a yellow flag.
That's
And
behind
Vizuik
him.
is now, and now he's going to the S's.
Very nicely through them for a car in the left positions.
And now the La Recta del Ovalo, or the oval straight.
That makes
And
sense.
finally, the stadium part, which is called Foro Sol, or the Sun Forum in English. And the last turn, La Peraltada, which used to be a 180 degrees turn, just like the oval turn from Daytona, from those tracks, but it was cut in half in the new configuration of the track.
Let's see if Tarberg can make it to the line. I don't think he's going to improve. He doesn't improve, and he's actually pushed down to the second row by Passion Chester. And the highest running Passion on the grid of 3 of them. And sneaking in there, only 0.03 of a second exactly ahead of the Alfa Romeo. I saw that the the Mercedes and Alfa Romeo were both on track pretty close to each other. And with Tarberg, he's actually setting up purple sector 1 at the moment, but I wonder if there was any obstruction in the earlier lap. Oh, and Tarberg's gone wide. And that has invalidated his lap after purple sector 1.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
He still has time to go around again, but I don't know. Is there, I cannot remember, is there ERS in the wet, or is that just DRS that's disabled?
No, only ERS. We don't have DRSs on the wet.
Oh,
but if you go Squids, George Cocker is starting his fast lap right now.
Indeed. Let's get on board with him in the Alpine. He gave a good showing last week out. Just had a very unfortunate amount of spins that kept putting him at the back of the grid, but he had the pace to win it. Let's see how he can fare today with a bunch of tier 1 drivers racing around.
Yeah, he's putting everything. He's flying over those sausage curves.
Hopefully not gaining any advantage on the exit of turn 4. Let's see now as it comes into...
Yeah, the track seems to dry out.
I don't think we'll have any dry conditions, but it is definitely getting a tiny bit drier. There's definitely a dry line, anyways, from all the drivers taking a similar part of the track. Oh, and he's invalidated it. Just gone too wide on the entrance to the S's. If he runs to the line, he can still make it in time for another run, but I don't know if he will want to.
But he's certainly going to have to suffer because ERS generation in this track is very low and he's already on 60%.
Uzulik is actually improving on his own time. He's just got a purple sector 2 there as he's coming into the oval. Very close to invalidating it on the last corner there, but he's kept it going. Let's see here as he crosses the line and he absolutely smashed it. You are correct. The track is definitely getting a lot drier as he's now a whole second ahead of P2, Passion Chester, or 9/10 of a second at the least.
Yeah, those couple of racers are going to improve those times.
Yeah.
This might be a double-edged sword for Bijuk because he's the first to finish. And the track is going to improve at least just a little.
Yeah, and everyone around him could jump him, but that's a big gap to find. A whole 9/10. Let's see.
Oh, and George just lost a green first sector.
And Passion Chester has invalidated his lap, so he's definitely not going to get pole. So the last remaining driver I can really see on track, maybe Alexis could even beat him, as he's only not even half a tenth behind George, but George will be the first driver there.
And let's see, purple second sector.
Purple second sector. Actually, I think Alexis is about to cross the line, or not. I got my Red Bulls confused. But George is putting in a blinder of a lap right here. Ooh, let's see where he comes. He's across the line. No, it moves him up a few places into the top 3, but not into P1. White.
Well, we can see basically three. The grid is divided in 3 groups. We have the first 6 to 8 drivers. Then we have the rest being the 28s, and some of them in the 29s.
Well, unfortunately, Delicious's 29 was just before he left.
Yeah. But we can see, I think it's 5 drivers in the 27.6.
Drivers are very, very close. Quality. It's always nice to see a close quality. Well, I say
Yeah.
close, but there's 4/10 of a second gap at the head of the grid, with Vizuik getting a pole position for Ferrari. Now, this is actually a sprint race round of the championship, so this is our order for the sprint race, which will change for the actual order for the full race. But do you want to run us through it, Shiyzu, very quick?
Yes, Vizuk, Road Flash in second, George Cogger and Chester, Tarberg and Nestek, Ferry in the Alfa Romeo, Alexis and Tommy. We have then Epical Andrew, Vernix, Anton Varlo, and we have Louis Tiger, F1 fan, which we all are, the Torpedo, Darth Vader, and let me just wait for the stream. Oh, I couldn't get the last names.
I couldn't get there either. Just ran out of time.
Yeah, Squids, but that's a sprint race, 12 laps. Do you think they are going to go for softs and pray they last the entire race? Or do you think people will go for mediums, which are the safest option, but also a little slower?
I think for Mexico, the strat is definitely to go for a harder compound, and then maybe start on the mediums, I think, because the softs will definitely die after 8 or 9 laps. And
yeah,
and then you have that 3 or 4 laps where you are fine in the mediums, and you are much faster than anyone on the softs. And you'll still have a set of mediums to hards for the main race as well, with the harder compound tires, or even softs if you're so inclined. Yeah. Our predicted pit stop strategy: 0.
yes, and we have everyone in mediums. Nobody risking a faster strategy with softs, because you can go like at least a second faster. But it's as you said, after 8 laps, you will be on 70 to 80%.
And then you're risking the puncture, which means, no matter how fast you are to start, a puncture means you are falling down the order.
Yes. And as predicted, dry sprint race.
Dry conditions, yeah. Can't speak towards the main race, but it is nice to see dry conditions again. Mexico in what it should be, nice and sunny.
Yeah, I went to Mexico once, and it was a very peculiar city, because Mexico City, it's just a big lake in the middle of a huge valley. Mm-hmm. The city is immense. Like, from one side of the other, there are tens, it's very far away from one mountain to the exactly opposite of that mountain on the other side of the city. But it's an incredible, beautiful city, and have so many great museums to visit.
Well, if I could ever get the money together to hop the pond, I'll definitely go visit Mexico.
Oh, you sure? You're gonna like it. Mexico City is a beautiful city.
Well, for now, we can't see the city. All we can see are cars lining up on the bridge. Polish flag in the crowd there. Oh, nice to see. And an Irish flag.
First. Oh, we have someone disqualified. That means they're going to start with cold tires.
Cold tires. A whole lap. There's George Cogger and Ferry and Passion Jack all about to start on the worst tires imaginable. But we're still loading. Oh, here we are. 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're off, and Delicious gets a drive-through penalty for jumping the start of the race immediately. And George Cogger takes the lead straight through Vizuik as he jumps down the order to P4. And Alexis even jumps them up. These are great views, Cody's, of the action. But Alexis actually leads into the first corner, but he's side by side with George Cogger. Hopefully no contact.
Oh, we have a car.
There's a car off, is there? There is a yellow flag. Yeah. A train of cars coming through the very tight chicane there. Doesn't seem like anyone is dead yet, though, but George and Alexis are fighting at the front here. Let's go on board with Alexis to get a bit of a closer fight here as Lewis has retired from the session. Oh no, his car is on track. Hopefully that's not an early safety car. Passion Jack, it's a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not what you want.
No front wing.
Not what you want when you already have. You were already starting on cold tires. But no safety car for the AlphaTauri. It has been despawned. And George Cogger, apologies, has seemed to have taken control of the start of this race. He has the lead. He decisively has the position.
Someone went very wide in the last turn. I think it was Tarberg. He went all the way on the escape zone.
Delicious comes into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. Not exactly the start you want to a sprint race, but a lot of laps to go and it's still a full race to make up the lost places. See if we can get any action here. Let's try and find some cars close on track here. Rogue, as reported, I didn't see what happened to them. They were in P2 at the very start, and now they're down, finding themselves in P10. A very nice move there on the F1 fan into the hairpin. Nice and clean.
Yeah, if I saw correctly, I think Rogue was touched in the back and almost went sideways in the track, but he was able to recover and keep on at least on the middle of the pack.
It's good. He definitely he has the pace anyways to keep up with drivers. If you saw last week, he jumped the queue into P2.
Oh, Alexis already with a 3-second penalty.
Alexis with 3-second penalty. I wonder if he might be just pushing a little bit too hard to try and keep up with George Cogger, and when you're pushing through the S's, very easy to go off track.
Yeah, and we might have DRS open for now, or at least in this lap. Oh, what a nice move from Vijuk.
Yes, indeed. He's up into the top 2 there. Alexis is looking. He's looking to make another move here into turn 5. He's going by their own side, but Vizwick has the position for the following corners, and Alex will have to back out for the time being. If he can keep up, though, he will have DRS down the main straight, which, if he has the better setup, that'll be. Oh, Alexis going very deep into the entrance of the S's there. And
Tarberg with the 3-second.
Yep. It seems that even our top few drivers aren't immune from track limits penalties as they push around the track. Everyone's getting penalties right now. We're only 3 laps into the race.
You got a penalty, you got a penalty, and you got a penalty.
The Torpedo's doing just fine.
Yeah, but you gotta pay attention, because Mexico track limits are very easy to either abuse or get a harsh punishment.
Tommy spun at the last corner. He seems to be okay. He's not diving into the pits, but he has lost a ton of places. He was up there in P10 or 9 with his teammate, but now he's down at the back of the pack.
Yeah, and Vijuk in the front is still hunting down George Cogger.
He is. And Alexis is not that far behind him. We actually have an almost 3-way fight here in the middle with a Ferrari, Williams, and Haas. Never thought I'd say that, but Nestek and Andrew are keeping very close to Vernex here, who also has a 3-second time penalty, so all they have to do is keep within that, but this early in the race, you don't want to keep early. Oh, and Nestek is so much faster through the S's. He has to be careful not to ram into the back of Vernex. He's that much quicker through the corners.
Gotta be running more arrow.
He definitely is. Oh, and then there's gonna be a nice move on the outside. Oh, but Vernex, I would have to personally say shut the door on him there, and Nestek.
Oh, there's going to be a fight for the first.
Oh, let's jump up ahead. Oh, and Vizwick is making a lunge for P1. He has that DRS and nicely, cleanly takes the position, making his way back up into P1 where he started the race. And Tarberg with a second time penalty here. Oh, and George Cocker was definitely looking to make another move there with the DRS zone, but actually no, I believe Visualic would have had the DRS there, as it's a double DRS
No,
zone.
that's a double DRS zone.
Yeah, so Visualic would have been already ahead of his rival there, and also just had the DRS to clear.
Yeah, but Vidrick is probably going to have a hard time defending right now because it has very low battery.
F1 fan has spun into the grass there, right coming up to the hairpin turn. That is very unfortunate. Not just at the back of the grid, but it's going to be a hard fight back. Delicious does make a position there after his drive-through penalty. Ooh. It seems like a
5-second penalty.
I don't think he cares very often. He has retired in the pits. Hopefully he will come back and put in a good fight in the main race.
Oh, fight for the first is getting hot.
Ooh, let's jump on board that. Alexis is starting to keep him back a little now. Maybe he's hoping that the two will take each other out. But this is some good defending from Visuik, and Cogger is definitely he's definitely a driver who will you know, he will pick his moment. He's not going to be very brash about it, about his maneuvers.
Yes, I agree with you. He's probably waiting for the next lap because Vijix is spending most of his battery. He's probably already on the single digits.
He is on 6%
for battery charge.
And we jump on board with George. George has about 24% left at the moment. And a little bit more for Alexis. I think that says 40%. Hard to read.
It's still. Oh, they are a little far away, but it's a huge stretch.
Yes. I don't think they're going to make the move here, but the red flashing light is coming up on Visuik. That tells George all he needs to know about the condition of Visuik's energy storage. They're actually coming up in a sprint race. They are coming up on the back of Passion Jack here. That's not what you want in a sprint race, to be lapped by the leading cars.
Yes.
Or ever, but especially bad in a sprint race.
And this is going to be... Oh, sorry, Squids.
I was just saying, I believe Jack just had an incident at the start of the race. That's how he fell down the order, in fact.
Yeah, and I was going to say that this is going to be a very hard grid to finish because we have some drivers with 3 seconds, 2 drivers with 9-second penalties, and 1 driver with 6 seconds.
9 seconds of penalties after only 7 laps is a feat in itself.
Yes.
George not with the best exit out of the last corner there. Let's jump aboard here with Andrew as he makes a good move there on Vernix into the last corner. I jumped on board with he was a few tenths behind it, but he seems to have already jumped those tenths.
Yeah, and we're gonna have probably a fight between Delicious and Tommy.
Yes, indeed. Tommy's done well to make his way back up the order. He's in P11, nearly where he was before he had a bit of a spin. But Delicious as well has done fantastic to get back into the mix of things. Delicious, yes. He might just have to run. Oh, a bit of a dummy to the inside, and he goes around the outside. What a move.
That's a beautiful overtake.
That is a beautiful move there by Delicious. Absolutely. And he will actually have the double DRS. Oh, Tommy is making his own move with a bit of the overtake button. And he takes the position back. Great fighting between these two, and they've kept it clean.
And it's going to go again. Delicious is going to try once more, maybe on the back straight.
But now, Varlo is about to overtake the other Aston Martin. He's actually done a double, I believe. Has he? I think Varlo's just done a double.
I think it was double overtake. Oh, and Delicious did the move on the oval straight.
The same move as his teammate in the same position.
McLarenception.
But my only Nestek has retired. What has happened?
I think he retired in the pit lane.
Ooh, he may. Yes, I believe he did. I wonder why he didn't have any time penalties.
Yes.
Whoa, Delicious
Very
and
deep.
Tommy are still fighting, and it's another great move by Delicious to keep the position, and that's Tommy gone
spun.
round. I think they touched there just on the exit of the chicane. Front wheel meets rear wheel. But, oh, that is so unfortunate from Tommy after finding his way back into the pack. But Delicious keeps the position.
And meanwhile, the fight for the first is still going on.
Still going on. As
There are just
Chester
0.7 between them.
Chester has just made a move through the S's on Road Flash.
That's ballsy.
That was ballsy. And Daniel Kvyat and Tommy both getting a time penalty. There are now more drivers with time penalties than without.
Yeah. Well, if everybody have a penalty, then nobody have a penalty.
Nobody has a penalty.
And for those wondering, Squids also there. I just watched some data mining from the F122, and they were comparing fast lap in Hungary with a semi-pro from F1, the game, and George Russell pole lap on the Hungary track. And the game is surprisingly accurate to the telemetry data we have from real life. The only difference seems to be that EA nerfed the DRS a little, because DRS in real life it's way more powerful than in the game. But we don't have the same tire evolution or the tire degradation as we have in the real life.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to simulate that.
Yes. In terms of data, of raw data, the two games are the game and the real life seems to be very close.
Maybe that's why everyone hates the game. It is a joke, But Chester was getting very close to Anto Varlo there, and he might have a bit of a run on him now coming down the main straight. He does have DRS, not using any overtake.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, in Mexico you gotta be at least 0.5 to 0.6 behind to really make a lunge in the first corner.
Who is that? I think that's a Mercedes going slow up ahead. I think blending the cars through. I think at his jack being lapped, unfortunately here. Oh, Chester thought about it. He did think about it. Oh, he's very close. Now let's see them. Let's get a. Oh, I love this helicopter view as they're coming through the S's. Beautiful camera work here. Whew. Oh, and he might just make the move now, coming down towards the stadium section, and he does. Chester makes the move, and he sticks it as well, keeping ahead of Varlo. That felt.
And both of them have penalties. So this is a move that sticks.
Oh, and
penalties are not going to interfere.
Vizovic is actually taking the lead. Here, he's made the move after a while, but I think George Cooper's going to try and take it back. He has the overtake depleted. He's going to go around the outside here. Oh, ballsy move from George. Pushing the Ferrari a bit wide, but they're still side by side going into the hairpin, and they will be side by side going through the S's, it seems. This.
Oh, this is risky. Going side
Oh,
by
this
side.
is
That's
very
a
risky.
damage.
Very risky. That's George in the wall. George right in the wall in the S's, and that has to be a safety car. Oh, it's the last lap of the race. There's not going to be a safety car.
Oh, that hurts.
That does hurt. And with Alexis nearly 1.5, 2 seconds behind Vizwick, that gives the Ferrari the victory here in Mexico in the sprint race as Vizwick crosses the line. Last
What a
lap
final lap.
shenanigans. Woo.
What a lap, Squids. What a lap. What a final lap.
Oh my god.
That says a lot about mental state, because George had the race in his hands. He had no penalties, and Vijay had a 3-second penalty. He just had to follow. But I think he just wanted to prove he would be able to win in the track, just not alone in the penalties. But that went a little bit too expensive for him.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know if George would see that as winning on track.
Yeah, now he's forced all the way back to the grid, back to the back of the grid.
P15. Yep.
Oh, someone just commented in the chat.
Yep, that was.
I think
Vizwick.
Victor Juan is probably Vizwick.
Yeah, I think that was Vizwick. Yeah.
But as we finish the sprint race, Squids, if you allow me, we have Vizwick, Alexis, Beast and Fairy, Chester and Varlo, Rogue Flash and Delicious, Epical Andrew, Vernex, Darth Vader, Tommy and the Russian Torpedo, F1 Fan, Fureto, George Cogger, Passion Jack, Nastek Tarberg, and Louis Tiger finishing the grid.
And that is our sprint. That is our order for the main race. 36 laps of Mexico. It was a very exciting 12 laps. I can't wait for more.
Yeah, I'm sure hoping for more of those laps. T2 in Euro it's a surprisingly close race. We have very defined packs. Packs are a little far from each other, but those packs are really tight.
Very tight. It's an EU. That's an EU flag. I don't think anyone has ever brought an EU flag to the Paddock Club.
I've never seen one.
But I believe we are just getting our cars sorted on the grid. Everyone needs to connect from 3 different platforms, so we'll be a few seconds so you can see the timer at the top of your screen anyways.
Yes, and now we have to guess who's going to try what. Hards into mediums or mediums into hards, but if you are fast enough, you can go softs and double mediums.
It's definitely possible. We saw, I believe it was Delicious do it on Sunday.
I think it was, but I don't remember correctly.
Yes. And he started P5 and he ended P5, so it definitely works in terms of a consistent pace.
Yes. And there we are. Everybody's starting into hard tires. F1 Fan mediums and Fureto and Jack on soft tires.
The two of 3 passions trying to chance it on the softs to jump a few positions at the start.
Yeah, gotta drive with passion.
It's a bold strategy, Con.
And as ever, the pit stop strategy from the game makes no sense at all.
What was it?
It was, I think, hards into softs, and softs into hards into mediums.
So like what? Triple stuff.
Yeah, gotta know. It's you gotta make Pirelli work hard for those tires.
Gotta get their data. They need to know.
Yeah.
Ah.
And this is going to be a strange start because I think Vivek drives with no assists, and he's also starting on hard tires. So that's going to make his start a lot more painful than those behind him. In the quali, he started first and then the first turn in 5th position. That might happen again in the race.
Also happened. A lot can happen in Mexico. We had a very chaotic start with Alexis, Vizovic, and George all fighting for P1 at the very beginning of the sprint race. But George Collier is going to start on cold tires.
Yes, Will Patch and Chester.
Yeah, I believe they must have had some sort of collision just
No,
at
I
the
think
end.
it was misplacement of the car in the grid. At least for Chester, it looked like.
But anyways, we have 5 lights. And they're out here in Mexico City, and it's a great start by Alexis. BC was flying off the line, and he's already all the way down the main straight as Vizovic races to catch up. We can't see anything with this camera angle. Thank you, Codis, for changing it. Here we are. George has made up a few places here. A lot of drivers swapping around. Antivirus. Tommy makes his way up, and Rogue Flash is a good start. Bit of contact at the back with Andrew and F1 Fan. They seem to be getting on with it though. Maybe a bit of damage, but no cars broken just yet. And Ferry is actually taking a bit of a sniff around the inside of Vizovic there. But I think if I were him, I would be content to just follow the 2 leaders around and hope they make a mistake.
Yeah, and as we've seen in the sprint, those guys are pretty happy to catch some track limits. So yeah, it might work to wait, have their tangle, and just collect the benefits.
It's a big train near the middle of the back of the grid. Cars still just jockeying for a position. It's going to be very close. We have a ghosted car right beside Ferretto. That is the Alfa Romeo of Carberg.
Ooh, someone's falling down the order.
Oh, and someone is falling down the order. That is Anto Varlo. They are all the way at the back, but they're straight back on it. I think they might have had just a little bit of a spin on the last corner, and just really unfortunate that it was the first lap and everyone was close enough to go past them.
Oh, there was a touch. A touch
Ferretto.
between the hands.
Oh, and Ferretto, bit of an unsafe rejoin. He's lucky he was ghosted there. Could have been really unlucky contact with the other Alpine. Oh, and he's running down the straight. He goes straight past Lewis Tiger, but he goes wide into the turn, and Lewis Tiger takes the position straight back. Oh, and they touch! Antovardo and Ferretto both make contact. And Ferretto's just, he gets on with his day. No visible damage on the wing, but he did spin around quite a bit, reluctant to get back on track as fast as he did.
Yeah, the grid's still surprisingly tightly packed after such, that much action.
My voice is going after such action.
No, don't worry. Go for a drink of water. Meanwhile, we are still watching those cars. The pack is surprisingly tight. And now we are going to have DRS.
Yep,
DRS has only 2 detection
Delicious.
points in this track.
Ooh. 2 DRS detection points, but 3 DRS zones. Oh, and
Yeah.
Aston Martin goes wide. Hopefully it doesn't impede their line a bit too much. But Nestek and Delicious are very close to each other right now on track, and George is also sitting just behind them. Might want to... There's not a ton of opportunities to make a move in Mexico unless you want to be really, really ballsy.
Yeah, you gotta be really aggressive because the main straight is really difficult to set yourself. Oh, someone's spun really hard.
Well, that's Tommy. Tommy's spiraling down the order.
Oh, he was surprisingly. His car has no significant. Oh, just front wing damage.
Front wing. Oh, he goes so wide. Oh, and now it definitely has a bit of damage. He has no front wing. Oh, my word.
He spun so hard that I thought he would, you know, turn his car into a lot of debris pieces.
Oh, and Ferry and Chester are having their own fight. Oh, and Ferry had to brake hard there to avoid contact. But Visuik has taken P1 back from Alexis. Currently leads the race once more. No, and now people are starting to pick up the time penalties. Now there were a few laps into the race.
Yeah, but you know, Visuik only have 24% of battery, while Alexis still have a lot of battery, 70%.
Yeah, Alexis did not use... I think Visuik used a lot of battery there to try and overtake and keep up those few laps, but don't be surprised if Alexis starts doing the same. Oh, that's a... Daniel Kvyat spun around at the entrance to the S's. Ooh.
Trying to turn the game into a real-life simulator.
He is back on track at the moment, but he's being very hard-pressed by Darth Vader and Fredo from behind. Interestingly, all the drivers on the non-hard tyres are at the back of the grid. Seems that extra grip didn't do them so well with the extra bumpy nature of lap 1.
And with the amount of spins we've had, those softs, if they spun at least once, those softs are gone. You can't spin in Mexico and pretend nothing happened and keep on softs. Oh, and that was a harsh defense from Vivek. Cutting in front of Alexis, trying to defend the DRS into turn 4. But it worked. He was able to defend. And now the S's are really difficult to follow. You gotta put your car right in the track, not abuse the curbs, otherwise you will spin.
Alexis had a bit of an off entry there. I think he's lost a 10 to Visuik. I think he has more of a straight line speed setup here, Alexis.
Yeah, it does look so. It does look as if he have a low aero, low downforce, and Visuik is more for a moderate downforce, but less straight line speed. But he's already trying to break the toe from Alexis. Not close enough for a dive, but sure enough close for at least a tentative of an overtake in the next straight. Ooh, Vivek, just a little better exit of that turn. Still not close enough for a maneuver, but you can see them change the lines.
Well, that is a full safety car as Jack has retired. I think he hit the wall going into the stadium section there.
And that's a full safety car.
Full safety car. I don't think anyone with hard tires is going to pit, so it might hopefully be a quick safety car.
Yeah, it's just going to be those guys into softs, and I don't think the medium. I don't think Tommy should stop. He's on a medium tire.
Yeah, and he's only 2 laps on.
Yeah, just 2 laps old makes no sense stopping. But I think Furetto will stop. He's on a 5-lap old soft. He certainly have to stop again. But that might open a gap for a double mediums for Furetto, because that's the first safety car. So we're gonna have 3 more, probably 2 to 3 more laps of safety car. So the mediums into a safety car lap, they do not degrade a lot, so he might be able to hold himself for maybe 15 laps each set of medium tire.
Feels like a nice little breather now with the
Yeah.
safety guys. A very, very action-packed 7 laps.
Yeah, T2 seems it's always an action-packed race. People fighting through and through. Overtakes made on very atypical places, like in the S's.
I think also the format of the league, with the points being awarded down to 15, is also like it's a great motivator for anyone who finds themselves near the back of the grid to keep fighting, keep going, because you could get a few points.
Yes. It does not matter if you are way back. It's always worth fighting for some places. It's not just like, yeah, I'm 16th. That's it for today. No, if I overtake the guy ahead of me, I get at least a point. So let's keep fighting.
As a side note, you know how Liverpool are playing Real Madrid this evening.
Oh, that's going to be a very tough match.
Yes, and for anyone who doesn't want spoilers about what is currently happening in the match, tune off now. But I had a bet on that game for Mohamed Salah to score, for Vinicius Junior.
He always scores at least a goal in every match.
For Vinicius Junior to score, for it to be a 1-1 draw, and I think Cody Gakpo to get one shot on target. And Salah has scored. Vinicius Junior has scored.
Well done.
But also Darwin Núñez has scored, which means it's not 1-1.
Oh.
Oh, the Haas nearly going off track there. But I just wanted to share my pain because I put only £7 on it, and it could have been £1,000 back.
That's the sad part of betting.
It's very sad. If I had just taken off the 1-1, I probably would have been grand. Just take that little bit out. But
yeah, you are allowed to bench because that's going to that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. But as a Liverpool fan, I am happy with how it's proceeded. 2-1 at the moment, and only 20-ish minutes in, half an hour. Yes, it is 8:30, so half an hour.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't really like Real Madrid because they just bought Rodrigo from Santos, which is my team. And I'm really sad because of that.
How was
that happened a while ago, but I'm still mad at those Spanish guys.
How bad were you when Neymar left?
No, I'm not gonna talk a lot about that because it was the shadiest deal ever.
Oh really?
You know, there's still going trials and stuff because the deal was incredibly shady.
That was about 10 years ago now as well.
Probably it was 2014 if I recall correctly.
Okay, so 9 years, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like so much money went under the table and stuff like that. It's it's still being discussed in both Brazilian and Spanish justice. It's like, if there's a definition of a bad deal, this is a bad deal.
I won't pretend to know a lot about it. I was only 14 and a half.
Yeah, I was 26, and as a Santos fan, I followed everything because I really wanted it the deal to fall through. But it's like, yes, but it's like they promised so much money, but it was paid into a via his father institution or something, and it went not into the Santos account, but it was paid in installments for his father. It's a messy deal.
Well, and Vizwick, I've just seen the chat here, is a Real Madrid fan. And he's Spanish. So there's your news for your mid-race news, Vizwick, as you as you get us off on the restarts. No pressure.
Yeah. and just to...
Oh yes, go ahead.
No, and just to call it caster cars, I had to call Andrew, got outside of hards into mediums.
Vernex pushing into the podium places there. That was a great restart by the Haas driver. He's gone past Chester into P3. Now, I think this is where George might go up a lot of places. You know, he had a lot of space to make up at the start of the race, and he's always going to lose time to the leaders being behind so many cars. But now that he's sort of been pushed back, ooh, Andrew, that is a odd 5-second penalty. But I think
I've never seen that.
I think George will. I think he will make up a few places here. I have seen that once before. Usually it means like overtaking a car when there's yellow flags. I've only ever seen that on a street circuit though, and not in Mexico. Everyone's getting the time penalties now here on the opening lap as they're really pushing for it. George can't seem to get past Nestek. He's had a few looks here and there, just can't seem to find that finishing touch. As Vardo, he's going to make quick work of ghosted out.
He's going to die?
Ooh, there's a car. Who is that? I think that is F1 fan. Thankfully not DNF'd, but had a bit of a moment on the S's. Ooh, excuse me, I am burping in everyone's faces here as George is going to make a move on Nestek. He has the pace down the main straight. That is where he was wanting it. That's where he's waiting, but they're going side by side. Oh, and Nestek takes it back. Nearly spinning out George again, but he's kept it on track and he's going to make another move on it. No DRS yet.
That might be a 3 wide.
Nestek has done the double there as he's actually taken Rogue in between him and George very close. His front wheel just tapping the rear wheel of Rogue. Very close to another spin there for the Alpine driver. Not where George thought he was going to be at the start of his lap. He looked dead on for the... Oh, he's almost pushing. He's pushing Rogue through the S's here. Oh, and who's that? That is Ferry falling down the order. They seem to have their... Oh, and that's a car hit the barrier. Tommy hit the barrier like a bullet.
Oh
my
God,
voice is... My voice broke, but on the camera angle, as we view George here, that is a yellow flag in the 2 sectors.
Oh, and they touched.
And George has touched. George has gone... George has kept it on track here, but I think Anto is going to just glide past them. Oh, and that is a full safety car. Is it a full safety car? It is a full track
I think it's
yellow.
a virtual.
It's a virtual safety car. Full track yellows. Oh, a lot happened there. From the stream's angle here, while viewing George, we just see in the background Tommy coming off screen to just hit the barrier at full speed.
I'm gonna watch that replay because I was not able to see that.
My voice went really high while seeing that. I was not expecting it. It surprised me a lot. Oh.
It's just like the radio chat meme from Formula 1. It's loud and clear.
Clear. For how deep my voice actually is, it breaks a lot. Which is not like the greatest.
Yeah, you know, as my family, we scream a lot. Like, it's really hard for my voice. Oh, someone!
Verdex going too fast at the end of the virtual safety car. That's going to be a tractor penalty. It's the second tractor penalty in the well, the sprint and the main race. But we are green flag racing again. George doesn't have the greatest run at here. Vernex pitting to serve his penalty there. That'll move a lot of cars up the order. Oh, and never be mind, George has all the pace to get past Delicious on the straight, and now he has both McLarens behind him, but I think he's going to keep that position and he'll have DRS.
Delicious almost had a moment.
Almost had a moment. But George will have that DRS going down the straight now, and I think he's going to let his teammate through there. And George somehow has made his way up from, I think it was P15, I believe. Yeah, P15 into P5 now, with around half of the race still left to go.
Yeah, that's some great pace shown by George. He was able to climb all the way from the back with, not getting entangled with all those moments happening in the race. That's very good for him to be able to catch up, and now he's only 2 seconds from Nasdaq. And 4th position.
Sorry, I didn't respond there. I nearly dropped the plate off my desk. I caught it though. But we're all good. But yes, Chester's getting very close to Alexis here. What I think
That's going to be a GRS overtake.
It might be, but I think Alexis is defending with his life. Oh, but
they got very close.
I think they touched, and Chester's gonna have DRS, but he went really wide there. Let's see, he's gonna make the move now. Oh, he pulls out of it. He had a bit of a luck there. And for any... Oh, a bit of a moment. Very close and very good defending by Alexis, but I don't know, was there any contact there between the two cars as they came out of the first chicane? It looked like there was.
I hope there is not any visible damage on those cars.
No. And no damage in Chester's driving style. He's still looking for that move. He's definitely gonna be trying to attack again on this main straight. Oh, and Barlow floods down the order. Has he gotten it back on track? It looks like he has. I think he had a bit of a moment in the stadium section there. But let's jump back to Chester as he's going to try and overtake Alexis once more into the opening corner, and Alexis shuts the door.
Yeah, that was a really hard defense from Alexis. He's probably riding a very low aero configuration for his car.
Chester might be looking at it again. He has DRS again, but it's a very short straight here. That is F1 fan sitting on the straight, or on the S's, and he's getting going. He's going again. That man will not stop going. But
Wanna show resilience.
all of this fighting is actually very good for Viswick up in front. He's putting a 3.5 second gap to Alexis, and Chester with a 3 second time penalty, just going too wide there on the S's, trying to keep up, trying to chase and push Alexis through the sector.
That's going to make his overtake even more painful, because it seems Alexis have more battery and more speed than Chester.
And he definitely knows how to defend. You know, he's able to keep the car behind him even if he doesn't have the pace on him specifically.
Yeah, and as you can see, from DRS to break, Chester only caught up like maybe 0.2 or even 0.1.5. So yeah, Alexis is very fast in the straight, and surprisingly, how can he hold Chester between the technical part of the circuit?
Oh, and Andrew's having a bit of a fight here with Lewis Tiger. Oh, he goes a bit wide into the corner. I think Lewis tried to switch back there, but it just did not work in the end, and that's a good move there by Andrew. Red helmet for a red car. But he's right in the mix anyways with Delicious and Ferretto's fight up ahead. They're going to be going a train 4 long into the S's.
And that's bringing Varlo to the mix.
It is indeed. I wonder if Delicious is purposely holding up a few of the cars to bring his teammate back into that fight after a bit of a mishap. Oh, what's wrong with the Haas? The Haas got sideways. Ferrero. What has happened to him? He's gone back.
There's a touch in the first between Alexis and Chester. Almost. There's a touch again.
Oh, they're side by side. Ooh, and Alexis seems to be in a great position. Then he touched and Alexis has spun around. He's lost 2 positions to Chester and Nestek. And George is right behind. And Nestek's actually overtaken Chester for P2.
Going for a not my problem overtake.
Exactly. He said, you two are fighting. Well, I'm just going to go around your mess and take P2. Thank you very much.
But those touches in the main straight, it's very, very, a single touch when you are going 340 might send you on a spin, and they touched a lot. It was not just like that.
Oh. I tried to get a driver up, but then it just switched back to George. Let's take a look at the...
Yeah, let me go through the penalties. We have Chester with 3 seconds, Andrew with 8 seconds. That's probably going to be a 5 plus a 3. Delicious with a 3 second. Then we have Vigor with 3, Vernix with 6, Road Flash with 3, the Russian Torpedo with 6, and F1 Fan with 12 seconds of penalties. That's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah.
When you are on the back of the grid, like, no, there's no amount of catching up that can surpass 12 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, I could see Andrew's. It was the ignoring yellow flags, and Rogue is out of the session. Where is that? That is just as in the pits, I believe. I think he just called it quits for this evening. Ooh.
Yeah, it does look so. But there is going to be a three-way fight between Alexis, Nestek, and Chester. And George is catching up.
George is catching up. It was 2.5 seconds only a lap or two ago. Now it's 1.5. Nearly just one.
That's going to be a fight.
I forget what point I was trying to make before I done this Rogue's DNF.
I think it was Epical Andrew having an ignoring yellow flag.
Yes, it was ignoring
penalty.
Yellow flags, which we both commented that it was a very unusual penalty to get.
And we totally forgot about it.
I've only ever seen it once before in this game, so that could be a penalty that it could be contested in the steward's room. But he doesn't know that. He can't know what the stewards would do after the race, so he just has to do his race and go as fast as he can. That is someone else stopped on the S's, but they keep going. I think that's Daniel Viet.
But I'm making up for his namesake.
Oh, and teammates touch. The two McLarens hit each other in the chicane, and again, they're both spun round. They're both spun round, and they are finding it very hard to get back on track. Oh no.
That's going to be a very rough night in the McLaren briefing room.
I think it's going to be a very rough night in the chat, never mind in there in the paper.
Yes.
Ooh, next up going a bit wide there into the stadium section. It's probably a little bit late, but they are keeping up more or less with Chester, and Vizovic really taking advantage of all the fighting behind them. It's now 6 seconds ahead of Chester, who himself has a 3-second time penalty.
Yes.
Oh, and speaking of, Alexis glides past Nestek into the podium positions there.
Yes, that's low arrow plus DRS plus DRS.
Oh, in.
Oh, I think they crashed.
I think, did the two McLarens touch again?
It does look so, because Delicious is into the pits. And let me see, changing a front wing.
And Vardo is DNF'd on track. Oh, and Kvieta spun around. He spun around twice there. His tires must be absolutely cooked after
It's
a few
109
spins.
on the backs.
They're only 7-lap old mediums as well. He's actually Vizuik is actually coming up on the back of Daniel Kvyat at the moment. He's having a very comfortable race at the front. And Daniel Kvyat has also called it quits for today. Oh, a lot of drivers DNF'd now. That is 5 drivers DNF'd at the moment. And I wouldn't be surprised if F1 fan were to make it similar. But I very much he's gaining points with each DNF by just staying on track. He has 2 points at the moment in P14.
Yes, and Fureto just had a moment in the stadium sector, just spun, but was able to catch up with no damage. But that threw him in the 8th position. Right behind Alexis on brand new mediums.
Alexis has finally made his pit stop. Actually, let's take a look at the pit stops because our top 5 at the moment have still yet to pit. I've been so focused on the actual racing and like the fights that I forgot. Yes, our cars need to pit. They need to change their tires.
Yes, we have now Andrew and Alexis and Fredo with 1 stop. Perry and Delicious also have 1 stop. And F1 fan already had 3 stops, most of them from damages. But right now we are seeing the strategy pit stops happening.
We have Chester, Nestek, George coming into the pits now, and I won't be surprised if in a few seconds we see Lewis and Nestek gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane right when he was in the fight for the podium. That is so unfortunate, and just he has to be kicking himself.
Yeah, but you gotta, surprisingly, after being last in the first few laps, Lewis Tigers in the second.
He is into second. I don't think he has not had his pit stop yet. So
yeah, he's still no pit stops.
He could be trying to go for, I believe, if my knowledge is correct, an overcut if he stays out. Is it an overcut if he stays out?
Yes, it's an overcut. The mediums, his mediums probably might be around 60 to 70%. But still, there is some grip remaining, and those guys are getting out of the pits into cold mediums. If he goes, he spends his battery.
They're going into traffic.
He's probably yes, and they are going to traffic precisely. So he might be able to overcut some.
Andrew as well on 14-lap mediums. He might want to pit as well soon. Those tires are gotta be near the end of, I think 15, 16, even maybe 17 laps they last.
Yeah, with 14 they are close to their death line.
Yes, and he's just crossed 15 laps there as he's come across the line, and there's his fellow Ferrari coming out of the pits. Vizuik and Lewis Tiger takes the lead on track. A lot of strategy going around at the moment. George and Nestek are
and
fighting.
George,
yeah.
Fighting a little bit hard between them.
With the brand new mediums, that is very risky, the cold mediums. But yeah, that is one way to warm them up. Just have a fight.
Just throw everything you can and hope you survive.
Oh, and if Vizuik is still listening while racing, last I heard, Real Madrid equalized. It is 2-2 in the game at the moment.
Oh, let me go into my source material.
Your source material?
Yeah, let me check it. Oh, and we also have the carnival results from Brazil.
Oh, and Lewis has spun around at the last corner.
Oh, there's the overcut gone.
And there is the overcut, well and truly gone. And everyone is overtaking him here. He's taking a while to get back up to speed. And he's coming. Yeah, he's deciding now is the time to come into the pits. Go for those medium tires. George sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:18.8, I believe that was, if I saw it correctly. Chester's coming very close up onto the back of Alexis at the moment. These two have been fighting all evening long. They've been having some great fights, a few touches between the two. Hopefully hasn't been dirty from either their perspectives, but it seems like good fighting at the moment.
Yes, and as we said, Louis Tiger is now in 7th place after being in the last position. His strategy is working.
Yeah, it's had a very impressive race at the moment. Just kept it quiet, kept it clean. Bar one spin, but oh, and Alexis gets another time penalty for track limits there. Oh, actually not another. That is his first. So that is definitely going to spur Chester on, as he knows he's now, he's level with this man.
And George has no penalties to his name, so he only needs to keep
in those 3 seconds.
A good pace, yes.
The field feels very spread out now.
Yeah, but we have a four drivers train going through the stadium right now, being led, if I guess correctly, by Vernix.
Yes, by Vernix, and Very Delicious and Darth Vader all within a second of each other. Near there, and
yes, and
sweeping on Chester near the front as well.
Oh, and someone seems to be crashed.
Oh, and that is Delicious. Oh, he's finding it very hard. He's coming into the pits now. He might be calling it quits there with the fresh tires as well. 5-lap old mediums.
Yeah, that's going to hurt a lot. But the real driver to be paying attention right now is Andrew, because he has nearly a 17-lap old mediums, so he must do another stop.
Yeah. They will not make it to the end. He's going another lap. He is going another lap. That is interesting to see. 18-lap mediums. That is a long time to bring those mediums. Especially on a track with such high tire degradation.
Yes, they're probably reaching puncture place, puncture line, whatever you prefer.
Puncture point.
But his puncture points also. That's the simplest one is the one I could not remember. And he's still going.
I mean, assuming that those temperatures on his steering wheel are his tire temperatures, they are at 90-something% right, or 90 degrees right now.
Yeah, that's a very healthy temperature for those mediums, but still.
Sorry, in my head I got the percentages and Celsius mixed up. I was like, they're on 90%? What? So that is on me. I don't think
if they are on 97 degrees, they are close to their limit, to their top limit, but still.
F1 fan, unfortunately, he has crashed on track, and that is a safety car. That is perfect for Andrew, as he's going to be able to just pit and get his.
That's a free pit stop.
That's a free pit stop. I don't think he'll be able to do his time penalty, his 5 seconds in the pits.
Yeah, I don't think so, but still, let's check. Oh, he's serving the 5 seconds.
He is serving. That is very, very good for Andrew. As he's going, ooh, a 3, 9, yep, they could last those 9 laps, especially with a few laps under safety car.
Yes, that's a possibility. He will have the traction, he will have the battery.
He's going to come out here. Will he be passed by anyone on track? I don't think so. He'll keep P5. Where did he start? He started in P8. 3 places gained. It's a very good race by Andrew.
Yes.
Just unfortunate now that he won't be able to get those 5 seconds removed. because he's already served them. But I think he'll still be happy with where he is.
Yes, yes. If he were able to keep those seconds and get them removed in the steward's room, we would be talking about podium for him. Maybe a second place, third place. But now with softs and probably 7 laps, fourth, then with DRS against some lap olds, mediums from those guys ahead, he might have the pace to overtake them.
Might just have the pace, because what are they on right now? They are on, I mean, they're only on 4 to 6 lap old mediums, as Darth Vader has retired as well. CC,
I think he crashed.
I think he crashed under safety car. He did. He's in the wall just before the S is there.
A lot of DNFs in this race.
A lot of DNFs. It's nearly half the grid. Started
Vijrik's doing something weird.
What is Vizut doing? I did not see.
He was going to the getting out of the track, I think, for Delicious to overtake him.
Oh, Vizut is letting the McLaren. Oh, yeah, just letting the McLaren go and unlap itself. That is.
Yes. And for just FYI, Squids, we can see on the steering wheel how much fuel those guys have left. Like, Vijrik still have 2 laps. He's, or better speaking, he's plus 2 laps on his fuel.
Yeah.
We have Chester with plus 2 laps too. Alex with plus 3, almost plus 4 laps. George with plus 4 laps. And surprisingly, Andrew with 0.5 lap. So he's on a lighter car with more grippier tires. We might be speaking of. He might catch up to the 3rd, maybe 2nd.
Yep, Andrew's definitely one to watch at the restarts and see if he can actually keep it going. And he's in a very impressive first part of the race.
Yes. And just to keep talking about fuel, the guy with the most fueled tank is Lewis Tiger with plus 5 laps. That's a heavier car.
His plus 5 laps of fuel, yes indeed.
That's a very heavy move we have there.
This might be a long safety car period, as Delicious still has a long way to go before he catches up at the back of the grid. Is there a maximum amount of laps that the safety car can do?
I think the game encodes 3 laps. If I recall correctly, after 3 laps, the safety car is gone. But it also depends on how many laps there are left in the race. Like, I've seen a single lap safety car with just 4 guys bunched up behind the safety car, the entire field spread.
Yeah.
And that's the game code.
I've definitely seen that as well. It's I mean, it does stop the game having a safety car in the last lap, but
yes. And talking about the restart, that's going to be something to watch, because even though Vijrik does not have any penalties to his name, George Cogger might be in the safest place ever for a 2nd place, because the 2 guys ahead of him both have 3 seconds, and also Andrew have 3 seconds. So even if Andrew passes him, in penalties alone, he might be able to catch up. And there's the message: safety car in this lap.
Let's jump on board here with Vizuik as he runs us through his 2nd safety car restart of the day.
That's going to be a late lunge for Vijrik. He might just start racing right after the corner.
There seems to be a few people moving up and down the order somehow. Oh, and he's gone. Oh, but touch of oversteer on the exit. That could have
his tires are really cold.
I am going to jump aboard here with Andrew as he's buried down on George Cogger here. All drivers so close together, it's hard to know who to jump to see all the action.
Yeah, we have a very accidental moment there.
And Andrew gets another time penalty. That is, he's definitely not going to be able to get that gap now in front of George, but that is especially unfortunate after a safety car with the cars so close behind them. But,
and now we are talking 6 seconds penalty, yes. So he might follow behind Nestek.
Further. With Ferry is the closest car on track to Passion Ferretto in the pass in front of them. Both passes still on track. Both Alfa Romeos behind them. Seems to be very calm, kind of safe for a restart.
Yeah, after the action-packed dirty race?
Yes. Excuse me.
But there we have Andrew.
Ooh, Andrew has behind a very good line here on George. Oh, and he shuts the door on the racing line. And I think he will keep that position, but he has a lot of pushing to do on 4-lap-old softs already with 5 laps remaining, and he needs a 6-second gap to George, which I don't think he can do that in the time remaining. That's over a second a lap faster. He needs to do.
Yeah, but you gotta say those 4 laps, 3 of them were behind safety cars, so those softs will last. But remains to be seen if it's the driver will be able to remain calm and do whatever it's needed for him to do.
But the Lexus also gets a time penalty. That is actually really good for Andrew.
And now that's a true battle.
That gives him something to go for. And maybe to finish in P3 instead of P4. Oh, sorry, P4 instead of P5, I should say.
Yeah, and if the grid stays, also the gaps are maintained, we are talking about a second place for George.
Ooh, when Andrew has a good run on Alexis, because Alexis has that setup, he has that straight line speed, and he has the defensive skills to say no, thank you very much.
Yeah, but we gotta see what Andrew makes of those softs. The creepier, the heavier, the more downforce prone setup, he's going to pass. He's going to have a lot of chances in the next part of the track.
Yes. So the next parts in the S's especially, he's gonna have so much more traction. He already has a lot more traction through these corners than Alexis.
Yeah, we can see frustration being built on Andrew, being stuck behind that guy.
Oh no, and there's another time penalty for Andrew. Right as he was going to fight, and for Nestek as well. And for Lewis, they're piling up. A lot of drivers pushing in these last few laps.
Yeah, giving their all. And, you know, now we are talking about Nestek getting into the mix. This is going to be a bunch to watch in those final laps.
Vernix
already with 18 seconds.
He won't be last with that time, though. Unfortunately.
Surprising.
Unfortunately for Delicious.
Oh, and there was a touch between Andrew and George.
Yep. George going a bit wide and nearly losing a place to Nestek. Let's get the tires up there for our viewers.
Yeah, now we are talking Vijay first, Chester second, due to those penalties, and George third. But if my calculations are correct, George have to push at least a little, and he will be able to catch those 3-second penalties from Chester.
Yeah. Ooh. Andrew nearly going into the back of Alexis there.
Yes.
I love the helicopter
George
can.
is precisely. Yeah, the helicopter can is beautiful. We are talking, if my calculations are correct, George is now 0.2 behind Chester with penalties, so he has to make 0.2 in those final laps.
I think he has it. I think he has that pace. Especially with a bit of fighting going on up above between Andrew and Alexis. As Andrew gets the position, but on the switchback, Alexis gets it back. So if you get a flag, it's both Hasses. What happened to both the Hasses? Seems they had...
Also another briefing room that's not to be calm.
No. There's going to be a few doors smashed in the Haas debrief room anyways.
Yes. I wish you could have some race spec drives to survive.
Verdex, oh no! And that's George in the wall! George is retired, George is off, and Verdex has been off as well!
Oh, George!
I think George got a bit distracted by a sideways Haas, and he spun off into the wall. Oh my word. There's going to be no safety car this late in the race. It is just business as usual, as the Hasses have all both gone off at the S's. And Andrew coming into the pits here. I wonder what this is for. I think he's getting fresh softs.
He's probably going for the fastest lap.
He may be. I think he had damage. He had a broken wing. He just got his wing replaced. Or maybe actually no, yeah. Never mind, yes, he got his wing replaced.
That's sad for George because he just had to get his car through those 2 last laps, but he got Latifi. You know, just like Latifi did to Bottas in Spa. I think the Alfa Romeo spinning right in front of him just did the same.
Yeah, it's not a place where you wanna come around the corner and come face to face with a sideways car.
Yeah.
And I think it was Vernex as well, so it was the Haas. So yeah, just got that little bit of a distraction, and it was enough to put him into the wall. At least from my very quick view of it, I only switched over to him right as it happened.
Yeah, no, I was watching the replay on the stream channel, and it does look like I don't know if it was a Haas or an Alfa Romeo, but there was a little touch that just spun the George's car into the wall.
So there was a tiny bit of contact that is more unfortunate than a distraction. So Nestek is looking to make a move here on Alexis in the last lap, in the dying laps. I don't know why he's trying to make the move. He has a 3-second penalty advantage.
Yeah, he's probably trying to prove a point now. I am faster than you. I'm going to pass you in the track, in the race, not only in the penalties. Now, only Tarberg and Vijvik have no penalties to their names.
Yeah, only 2 drivers have survived with no penalties, and one of them is what I hope, if I don't commentate to curse him, your winner this evening as he comes around the final corner to win the Mexican Grand Prix. It's Vizwick in the Ferrari, and Pashan Chester comes home in the Mercedes to take P2. Now it'll see here where the penalties shuffle out. It'll be very interesting here. Was the cars collide after the checkered flag? But it seems that Alexis will keep that podium position. He will keep that P3. Nestek with a great race in P4. 12 places gained by 2 drivers and 10 by Tarberg.
That's a lot of places gained.
A lot of DNFs will do that. Exactly 10 DNFs and exactly 10 places gained by Tarberg.
Oh, and now that the race is over, to celebrate the podium, let me add something. Let me see if I can add something because, you know,
Of course.
cell phones are not the best thing to play some music. That! Where's the mariachi team? I can't find the mariachi intro.
The mariachi F1 theme.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Only the
I can find the mariachi intro.
Only the most professional commentary here on Race Spec. But podium celebrations seems like a 2022 race. Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull on the podium.
Yes, Vijay first, Chester second, and Alexis third, followed by Ferry and Nestek. I am having trouble distinguish if it's an Indonesian, Monaco, or
Polish.
Poland flag for Nestek.
Yes.
Followed by Lewis Tiger, Tarbeg, Epical Andrew, Anton Varlo, Delicious, Rogue Flash, George Cogger, Fureto, Vernex, Darth Vader, F1 Fan, The Russian Torpedo, Tommy, and Jack. That's the full grid for tonight.
Yep. Again, another really unfortunate ending to the race for George. But congratulations to Vizuik. He had a fantastic race out front.
Yes, Vijay had a very calm, a very great race, but also congratulations to Lewis. That was back in the last positions in the early laps, but finished sixth.
Yeah,
that's
he had
some
a
great recovery drive.
Well. And if he didn't have that spin right before his, he probably would have lost the positions anyways to his pit stop. But the spin definitely didn't help, and I think he could have gotten even further. But where he did finish was still absolutely fantastic, I think.
Yes, and Vijay, if you had the pole position, fastest lap, and victory, that's a grand challenge.
Who did that fastest lap? I did not see.
I think I missed the fastest lap.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get from the stream. Let me check if I can see the race director. I can't because I am dumb. Yeah, I can't see the fastest lap.
It will be on the stream for the league coordinators to use anyways. But that is round 4 in Mexico. Who was your driver today? Just to round it off.
Oh, I think up to the crash it would be George, but I gotta give it to Vijay. He just had he just kept his head calm during sprint, and just was unbeatable.
Yep.
Best pace in the pack. Gotta give him the best driver today.
Nice. Well, there you have it. Your race spec driver today, Vezuik. But all great things must come to an end. We will be back for Hungary, I believe, next week. But until then, thank you very much for watching, everyone. And thank you, Shiyzu, for joining me again. And congrats on being able to be heard by the stream for once.
Thank you, Squids. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for being here with us. And certainly, we will be back for Hungary, the Monaco without barriers. Let's see who can make some overtakes. T2 has a lot of action, so I hope Hungary will not be the sleep fest we have in real life. It's going to be a tightly packed race.
Yeah, I can't wait. Anyways, well, I've been Squidley. This is Shiyzu, and this is the end of the stream. Thank you very much, everyone. Ta-ra.